I just wanted to make this quick video just to briefly review all of the paperwork associated with listing and selling your house. So if you're on my website, alexsellsrichmond.com/paperwork, you can actually download all of this paperwork that I'm about to review here with you. So if you're looking at the PDF from my website, it's 16 pages. The first 4 pages are the listing agreement. This is the paperwork we would fill out so you could put me to work so I could go out there and get your house sold. The next page in the PDF is the property disclosure. So in the state of Virginia, there's a lot of things that the seller is not required to disclose. And if you're looking at this one-page paper, there's actually a website in the middle that it refers the buyer to, and it reviews all of the different things that you as the seller are not responsible to disclose. The first one being the condition of the property. And that's why 99% of all buyers are going to get a home inspection so they could do their own homework and find out the condition of the property themselves. A lot of the other things listed here on the website, a lot of them don't always apply to a house. For example, if there's any resource protection areas that may restrict the use of the property, if there's a historical ordinance, which might be common if you're downtown in Richmond, Fan Museum District, there might be some rule or regulation that would prevent them from changing the property a certain way. All of that stuff is up to the buyer to do their homework before buying. So what is a seller responsible for to disclose? There is a short list of things that you are responsible to disclose. The first one being is if your property is located in a locality that has a military air installation. The next one being if your home has defective drywall. So the most common one I've heard of is Chinese drywall, and from talking with home inspectors, I think it has like formaldehyde in it, which was messing up the copper and pipes and electrical. I haven't heard of it in Richmond, doesn't necessarily mean it's not there, but I think a lot of people, if they have it, there's issues and you're probably aware of it. So if you are aware if your home has defective drywall, that is something you would have to disclose. The next thing is if your property has any current building or zoning code violations. I imagine your city or county would have mailed you something. You probably would be aware that there's a current issue with one of those things on your house. And if so, that is something we would have to disclose to the buyer. The next thing is if you've ever been Breaking Bad in your house, if you've ever made methamphetamines, or if someone before you made methamphetamines in the property, that is something that you would have to disclose to the buyer. The validity of the septic system. So if you don't have septic, definitely don't have to worry about this one. If you do have septic and there's been issues in the past and you had to get a waiver from the local health department that may require certain repairs or maintenance, we would have to disclose that to the buyer. And then the last thing is if there's been any mining operations or old abandoned mines, shafts, or pits on your property, that is something that we would have to disclose to the buyer. So definitely check out the website. It lists everything out in detail with explanations there, but that's just a quick summary of the residential property disclosure that both you as the seller and the buyer will also sign this one-page form. Page 6 in the PDF is a lead-based paint addendum. If your house was built after 1978, then you don't have to worry about this at all. If the house was built before 1978, this is a disclosure that is required. And you'll see at the top, you just either disclose yes or no, I do or do not have knowledge of lead-based paint. And then if you do have knowledge, you'd have to have some sort of documentation pertaining to that. And you would just check yes or no, I do have documentation pertaining to lead-based paint. Page 7 and 8 is the summary and rights of obligations under the residential property disclosure. Essentially, the page 5 that I just kind of went over, the one-page document, a lot of what's on the website is on this form. State of Virginia says, hey, we got to sign it, and essentially says when we have to have the residential property disclosure in use, which for resale is every single time. And then it goes through a summary of what's on that website. So that is another thing that you would have to sign as the seller to get your property listed for sale. In the last portion, page 9 through 16, that's the 8-page purchase contract that a buyer will fill out to make an offer on your property. Now this one is filled out with a sample contract. Sally Seller, Bobby Buyer, 123 Main Street. You'll see that the Board of Realtors, they made it really easy for us. It's just fill in the blank. So a buyer and their realtor would go in and fill out all the appropriate blanks for your property, and then the offer that they're going to make, the type of loan that they're going to get, how much of a down payment they're going to do, earnest money deposit amount, the actual purchase price, if they want to negotiate any closing cost or a home warranty. All of that is, fill in the blank throughout those 8 pages. Once you do finally get an offer, I'm going to send it to you in an email with a summary of all of those important things, just concise and together to make it easy to digest, so you're not going to be sitting there flipping through 8 pages trying to figure it all out. I'm going to make your life easier, make it a summary in the email. Obviously, I'll still send you the actual contract itself. But the big benefit of having all this paperwork here now, even before you've listed your house for sale, it gives you as much time as you want to read through it, and then let me know if you have any questions about any of the verbiage or paragraphs in any of this paperwork. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. But please don't feel like you have to become an absolute expert in it. Like, that's why you have us. We're going to guide you through the process, making sure you keep into the timelines of the contract of when certain things are due by, when stuff has to be done. And then anytime we get to a point where there's a choice for you to make, I'll lay out all of your options, explain the pros and cons, so that way you can really make an informed decision as you want to proceed throughout that selling your house. So if you have any questions about any of this at all, don't hesitate to call. Our best number is 804-396-3196, and I hope you have a great day.